show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, it's me Imran. How you doing? Mark is actually a little late, so you're just gonna hang on for him, alright? But he will be here pretty shortly. By the way, I've been using Eevee Mux, so I was messing around with the music and the background styling, which I think added a little bit more anticipation or fun to the event. By the way, can you let me know that you can definitely hear me okay? Because I just need to be sure that, but yeah, basically, can you hear me? Just let me know if the sound and the video coming through is all okay. So Brian's put five times five? But yeah, just let me know if the sound is coming through okay. I'll just hang on. Yep, cool, excellent, brilliant. Yeah, so just before Mark comes on, great to have everyone here. This is kind of like our normal live chat, but we've got Mark coming on as well because he has finally sorted out his internet. He had really bad internet, okay, and his internet speed, the buffering was quite bad, so we thought we'd wait until he upgraded his internet. So yeah, for those of you that know, did have some bad news yesterday. So just as my son got home from school, our cat did finally die. So it was a bit of a sad evening, afternoon for us at home. Buried our cat and everything. So, but yeah, so it was sad to see. But you know, we had our cats for 18 years, so he's going to be sorely missed. Okay, I'm just checking the comments that are coming in. Oh, 5x5 is a ham radio, general radio. Go right, Corey. Got it. Yeah, don't worry, everyone. You know, it's we were kind of we were expecting it in a way, though. You know, so it has happened. It has happened. So who's getting excited for Black Friday? Who started deciding on what deals they're going to go for? Any special like plugins or themes? Do you want to start firing off what your favorite plugins or themes are that you're going to go with? You know, anything in particular? And by the way, if you do go over, hey Francisco, how you doing? By the way, though, if you do want to go over to our Web Squadron page, we are now running a 40% offer on all the mastery modules. That's even for the 1 hour or the 30-minute consultations. If you really want to be chatting to me in private. I'm not sure why you'd want to chat to me in private. You know, we could share lots of personal stuff that way. But if you want to go for it, please don't forget to do that. I've just got to make sure the music is... Ooh, there we go. Yeah, I just realized the music was still on and I needed to stop that from playing. Hey Andrew, how you doing? Hey Phil. Yeah, so Mark is just dropping his daughter off somewhere, so as soon as he gets in, he will be on here, all right? So I just want to let you know you've not been duped. You will notice over here the EV Mux logo. Hey Mark, you're in. Hopefully Mark's now going to jump onto that link I sent you. So Mark will hopefully join on the live chat as well in a moment. What was I saying? Yeah, the EV Mux logo up here, because we're using the free version of EV Mux, that's why the logo is there. The pro version would have removed that logo. Because we don't use EV Mux a lot, and it's been a while since I've last used it, I didn't really see a major point in us upgrading to the pro version, because to be honest, we get the 1080p resolution with the standard EV Mux. So Toho Congus has said he would like to have Elemental Pro. I would definitely recommend, okay, that if you're using Elemental and you have not got Elemental Pro yet, I would definitely say you want to consider going for that. Just checking. Yeah, no worries, Mark. Yeah, it probably says that when you first log in. Just make sure you're on Google Chrome. Ideally, it just helps out everything there. And of course, once Mark starts, we can all say happy birthday to him once he arrives. Jimmy's already started, but so if you are using Elemental Free and you're now using lots of third-party plugins, I strongly recommend you get Elementor Pro because the more plugins you have, the higher chance you have of incompatibility and issues further down the line. Okay. And Andrew, I hope, if you need any help in decision making, please go ahead. I can tell you now, someone actually purchased a whole load of the mastery modules last night. They went for the business planning, the marketing planning, the how to get clients, the checklist, and there was a fifth one, sharing our stash. Um, okay, Mark, try on Edge then, Mark. Try on Edge. Go for Edge then. If you're having any issues with Chrome, go for Edge. Try again on Edge. What I'll do is I'm going to email Mark the link again. Just bear with me. Let me just send Mark this link again. There we go. So just sent you the link again, Mark. Try that one if you're having any difficulty. Peter, I just noticed you've popped in. Yeah, that's right. When Mark joins, that's when I give the 2-minute notice. So what is EVMux? EVMux is a streaming platform which allows me to stream to multiple platforms. So right now I'm streaming to LinkedIn and YouTube at the same time. What it also allows me to do is do some fancy stuff like this. So I can start to like share my screen. I could have 2 or 3 people on the screen at any one time. And the problem is that if you're using YouTube, you can't have more than one person. You can't do multi-streaming with more people. It's a real pain in the ass. So people use StreamYard, Restream, other solutions, but you got to pay if you want to have 1080p resolution. With EVMux, and I did a video on this, so go and look at my channel, whereby EVMux allows 1080p resolution and multi-streaming and lots of other stuff for free. The Pro version obviously removes this logo, which I don't quite like, but then again, it's like, it's not the end of the world. It's just sat up there and it's kind of out the way. Look, I can slap it, but I can't get it out the way. Hey, right. So Mark is now about to join it. Are you ready, Mark? Okay, everyone, we're going to get Mark in. And by the way, I won't say happy birthday yet. I'll say it later, even though I'm kind of saying it before the game. Right. So we are going to get Mark in. There we go. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing absolutely amazing at the minute. Well, not now, other than the cat yesterday, which was a bit
sorry
sad.
to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and Raheem was very, very upset going into school today, but I think he's been very mature about it as well. So I think first cat died in January. He almost was built up to expectation for what was going to happen. So we buried the cat. Yes, they're both buried next door to one another in a quiet spot in the garden. So he's never too far from them. But I think we can all wish Mark Newman a happy. But I got to stop saying Mark Newman because I know there's other people called Mark that are on the chat. I'll just say Mark. Happy birthday, Mark, and I hope you've had a great morning so far.
Yeah, all my plans went out the window. My daughter was ill this morning, so I had to stay at home and continue my journey through Game of Thrones. Currently, season 6. Hodor hasn't died yet, but I know he does. After you spoiled that for me.
Do you know what? I can't even remember now when he dies. Is it season 6?
Well, it's not yet.
Yeah,
he was in the episode this morning.
I know. To be honest though, with Game of Thrones, you got to kind of expect everyone or know someone important to die at some point. But I will say that it's a little bit unexpected when it happens, and when it happens, your brain will just start clicking into, oh, now it makes sense. It's a very poignant scene.
Everyone I thought was going to survive and be key characters has already died, so I'm not sure who's left.
No, yeah. So I mean, obviously you got the house to yourself, I'm guessing. Like there's no one there right now.
My daughter's upstairs, but yeah, other than that, it's quite quiet.
Yeah. So as I was saying earlier, and to anyone that's not joined yet, please do hit like if you haven't hit like already, and please don't forget our mastery modules are currently got a 40% offer off. Earlier I was saying last night someone actually bought the business planning, the marketing planning, the how to get clients, the sharing our stash, and the website checklist all in one. So for anyone out there that feels like, oh, should I do a Black Friday deal or not? It obviously is a good thing to kind of attract an audience. If anyone out there is ever thinking about selling courses or their services or anything like that, please do consider it. And as I said earlier, one of the main reasons why Mark's not joined us on the live chats before is because of the internet speed. But I'm glad to see we've now got that upgraded, so we've got a bit more smoother, less buffering going on there. So I'm just going to check the questions or anything that's coming in, because I did ask the question, has anyone got any major plugins or some bit of software that they're going to go and buy as part of Black Friday? I'd love to know if there was anything that a lot of us have not considered yet, because I'm pretty much aware of all of the big ones. But was there any big plugin? In fact, is there anything, Mark, you're going to get that isn't related to websites, maybe just for your home?
No.
Really?
no, no. I have, well, other than maybe the odd Christmas present, I have nothing left to get. I've got no money. I'm going to Australia for Christmas. So,
oh, well, there you go.
So yeah, all my money has gone on that. It's costing a fortune to go and see family out there over Christmas. So no, nothing for me on Black Friday. Although, if I didn't already have access, I'd definitely be buying some of our mastery modules. Definitely the how to get clients.
Yeah, I mean, I can honestly say that how to get clients module. I know I talk about this during the live chats whenever the question crops up with how do we get clients, and I go through some piecemeal things you could do, but it's not as detailed or structured as what's been done in that mastery module, because there's a load more stuff you got to do. And if you don't get things into place, it ain't going to work for you. And I'm going to give you an example. I know some people that have spent 18 months working behind the scenes on social media SEO. Like, they've been very methodical with what they're doing. And sometimes it takes 18 months to see the real hardcore results coming out. So even if I give advice in the live chats or on a YouTube video, I don't go into extreme detail, mainly because I don't want to bore you to death. And I'm not saying the mastery modules will bore you to death, but there's a lot of things in there that you really need to know if you're going to nail it and really help yourself to get it right. So Andrew is just saying he's got no plans on Black Friday purchases. Brian, he's taught their clients. In fact, I'll just share this on screen. Brian's taught their clients how to premium add-on, since you're going to do. Okay, right. So Brian has this morning emailed me his images, and I'm not going to share them on screen because I've not opened it yet. I'm really worried it's going to show the planet Uranus or something related to Brian, or so I don't know what. So I've got to look at those images, and I am going to hopefully create a video today or tomorrow if I get a good idea of what Brian was after. I've got a feeling it's just going to be, I don't know. I better not go too erotic with this, what I'm thinking it's going to be, but I'm hopefully going to create a video that will showcase and stop Brian's client from getting a premium add-on. And I have to be honest, I would definitely say to people, steer away from a plugin, which is a really fancy feature, and just stop and think, can I do it in Elementor or Bricks or any other page builder? And do I really need it? Because if we now go back to my question I asked Mark a moments ago about Black Friday, I'm actually in the same boat as him. I'm not, like every day I've got notifications coming through. Oh, there's this offer on a TV or this or that. And I sort of go, but I don't really need it. And, the very first time I got into Black Friday was about, I don't know, I think it's about 4 or 5 years ago, when I really was like, oh, what am I going to buy? You felt the urge to buy something. And now when you look at it, it's not because money is tight, but it's because you go, do I really need it? But I would definitely reiterate what Mark said, which is, if you are serious or you're struggling with your marketing strategy or your business, like your planning or your modules or stuff like that, definitely consider the mastery modules, because we have put a lot of thought into them, and rather than selling them for like £600-700 or running like a day-long course on it where all we're going to do is just read off what's on a PDF or whatever, we're giving you documents, guides and videos to really help you out. But there is something I do want to talk to Mark about, actually. Something was buzzing away in my mind last night, but I'm just going to double check the questions unless Mark wants to add anything
well,
about the module.
just really before you go into anything else,
Yeah.
I think you mentioned about trying to find ways within the tools that you have to solve problems, and I think that, along with the cost saving, is something that we've always focused on. I think when you start out in web design, one of the beauties of entering the web design space is that it's relatively low setup cost, a relatively low risk to try and move in here. I mean, we've been kind of operating together for 2.5 years,
Yeah.
something like that now. And when we started off, it was a completely new world for us. We'd worked heavily in analytics. I'd done bits in business. Imran had done a lot around kind of design, creativity, as well as analytics. And we were getting asked questions by local businesses around a range of things. And when we started out, it was all about trying to keep our costs down, trying to make it sustainable, while also then ultimately trying to establish ourselves as an expert and grow. We started off solely as web designers. And then I think it was about a year in, we took a step into kind of this space, into what we felt would be useful for people, kind of sharing what we'd learned, the mistakes that we'd made, to try and help others avoid making them, and to allow people, I guess, really to kind of follow us on our journey, and to not have to trawl through hours and hours of YouTube, of which a lot of it is misleading and crap,
Yeah.
to get to where you want to be. So that kind of the integrity and the kind of sharing our journey with people and our lessons learned is really where the mastery modules came from, and really where this channel came from when we first kicked it off a couple of years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was going to touch on, there's a lot of comments coming in. So I was going to touch on D. Lucas one about recommending design basics. My advice to you would be, there's lots of books, there's lots of websites. Paul Charlton from WP Tuts, he's running like a course about Figma and design and stuff like that. It's not a bad course. But the way I like to learn, and this is what I advise a lot of people, is you just go and look at other websites. Because it's very easy to say, this is how you paint a picture, but someone might do something different. And that's why we have lots of different artist styles throughout the ages. Like Michelangelo, Leonardo, they all have a different style. And the danger is that if you just follow like a textbook approach, that's all you'll see. Every time someone comes to you and says, I want a website, you're like, right, I'm just going to go like that. That's all I'm going to do. And what I recommend you do is, if you understand what the website is for, or what the target audience is, you then look at examples. And something I said yesterday was, someone might want a shoe shop. It doesn't mean you just look at shoe shop websites. You look at any website you want. It doesn't matter if it's to do with shoes or not. What you're looking at is, what is the website doing? What is its aim, and how does it convey its message off to the user? And does it convert you? Does it make you want to go deeper? And if you start to understand things like that with the layout, and that's when you'll appreciate the header. Was it a sticky header? Was it a side header? Where was the hero banner? Where was the call to action button? Because websites don't follow a set rule. But there are lots of advice we like to give about, you got to have a stimulating headline. You got to get your keywords in there. You got to kind of show what is the problem you're solving right at the top of the page, and then get your call to actions in. So I hope that helps, D. Just going to check the comments. Yeah, Atif is saying, great to see Mark here as well. Maddie, hey to you. This is a good question from Extreme Hip Hop News. I bet you don't even like hip hop. I bet that's just your ID name and you'd listen to classical music all the time or something. So do you both design sites, or do you have separate strengths that both complement the business? This is a really, really good question. So I'll start off with my bit, and then Mark can come in with his bit. So my bit is like the creative side in terms of creating. So this is like working on the website and trying to problem solve the best solution for what the client wants. So I might decide on, well, what plugins can we use? How can we keep it lean and mean? The performance, the responsiveness. So it's the creative side of things. Mark, do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I think I think it's yours is a little bit broader than that. But yeah, that's kind of the fundamentals. Um, when we worked together pre doing this, I've always done kind of operational management business in an analytics type setting, um, whereas Imran was always far more creative and innovative in finding solutions to problems and telling a story um, with back in those days with data. Um, but has now kind of taken that mantle forward into telling a story with websites for people's businesses in most cases. Um, Most of the stuff that I do I do a lot of the back of house stuff. I keep an eye day to day on the finances, although we do that piece of work together. I do a lot of the kind of promotional marketing type stuff. I do a lot of face-to-face work with clients where we've got clients on the ground, putting in place processes. When we were running our challenge, I built out all of the automations associated with the challenge. I run all our email marketing newsletters, and I build that out for clients where that's needed. We both kind of do the social media stuff together. But my background is much more around process ops, marketing, and general kind of business administration type stuff. I have built sites, not so much in recent days. Obviously, Imran now works in the business full time. I still hold down a day job outside of this, but I'm kind of actively involved outside of that. You know, we talk weekly, but we kind of touch base daily. You know, we're obviously running a web design business as well as just this channel. So obviously a lot going on, and between us, you know, we manage that as best we can. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I will say is that if anyone out there is running a business on their own and you're trying to discussions with clients, client meetings, specs and all of that, building websites, creating newsletters, managing your accounts, bookkeeping kind of things, looking at new solutions, creating courses like the mastery modules and stuff like that. Doing it on your own is possible, but I can seriously tell you now, it will probably be okay if you don't have a family and you have no life and nothing else to worry about. You could probably do it. So, but both of us being able to split off tasks, and we can jump in and support each other where we need to, get second opinions, and that's the other thing that is really really good. When you're running your own business, if you're not sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly and the problems, sometimes you can get yourself stuck in a rut and you're struggling, and all you need is a pep talk or just to sound off a solution. And that's so good that we have that, and that we're mature enough to kind of go yay or nay to ideas, or to think about things differently and stuff like that. So if anyone out there is thinking of setting up a business with a friend or a colleague, or you are in a team, you don't have to always be on the same page, but make sure you kind of share the same dream or ambition. What is your long-term aim? Where do you want to get to? Are you going to push each other in the right way as well? But I will say that a lot of the newsletters that come out, I'm not writing them. Mark's writing them, and I'm reading them and going, "Oh, yeah, that's quite nice, Dave. That's really good," or whatever, But it's great to have that kind of that balance within the team.
I think you've become very much the face of the business. I think you're the brand that everyone's synonymous with. You're the working in the business full time, and I think you're the more kind of outgoing and maybe flamboyant, should we say, character of the two of us, which is why it's probably more appealing for you to listen and watch Imran than it is for you to watch me. But I think a lot of the stuff around strategy, and as we've kind of navigated through our first few years has been driven by me. We've done a lot of training during that window as well. We've learned a lot of lessons. We've worked with a number of business coaches um, to kind of get us to where we are. But I'd say the key thing out of everything that we've done is around consistency and trying to add value to the lives of everyone who follows us, and try to to solve problems for people. I think that's kind of been where we started from. There was never any expectation that this channel would grow, to what are we, just over 12,500 subscribers now. And I look at some of the big influencers online, who within, what's the channel been going now, 17 months, something like that, maybe not quite as long as that.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 17 months. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I see some of the big ones who were, took over 2 years to get to 10,000. So, we're obviously doing something right. Obviously, we've got this great little community here as well, which is growing. And Inman does a great job at kind of managing all of that and fostering that. But I'm doing stuff kind of behind the scenes. But I try to join these whenever I can. I'm sure most of you will have seen me commenting on them most days. But yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster journey, but we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. A question from Red Hot: what kind of client usually needs a website? That is a slightly difficult question, because I would say, yeah, the word web attractive, I could almost say you could scrap that bit there. But for me, it's about, why do you need a website? And for me, it's about, what are you aiming to achieve? Is it just a landing portal? So you have a social media link and you just land on a page. Are you advertising services? Are you selling something like that? And for me, really, before you even get onto why you need a website, you want to get to understand, what is the business? What are they trying to achieve? Do they even have anything to offer or sell? Or is it just like a vanity project whereby you're just going to have a page with your face on and your name and a few social media links? What is your overall aim? So I would say, what kind of client needs a website? You could almost say every client who wants to get out there. Because if the client is so famous that they don't need to do anything and the money rolls in, they don't have to do anything. The money rolls in. They're well known around the world, right? I'm not going to name any superstars, but it could be any one of them, right? But if you're a business that to get an income, to get out there, to compete, you got to compete with the big boys, then I would definitely say you need a website. Mark, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, with the introduction of social media many years ago, it was, a lot of people are trying to run businesses solely through social media. And if you do any of the trainings I do, you'll see that I massively advocate an email list, and I massively advocate a website. Now, the reasons that I advocate those are because everything you do around marketing your business with social media is driven by an algorithm. So Facebook ultimately control what you're putting out on Facebook. They can restrict what you're putting out on Facebook. They can take your account away at any moment and you will lose all of your subscribers and followers. And I've seen that happen to some very successful people. If you want to build a sustainable long-term business, then you need to have complete control over your infrastructure, over your messaging, and how you want to relay your message. A mailing list, to a certain extent, gives you that. You can put out whatever content you want, whatever images you want, and it's going to land in someone's inbox. I'm sure most people know by now, but if you have a reasonable sized audience, you are, I think it's somewhere in the region of 10% of all of your audience actually see your posts. So if you think about your mailing list, you can guarantee it's going to land in everyone's inbox. Then it's up to people if they open it. With your social media, it's the algorithm that's controlling people's access. With a website, and I think it's as Phil's just said, it's all about owning your own assets. It's about being completely in control of your business. No one can ever take it away from you. If you try to run through social media, then ultimately it's in someone else's hands. So I think the important thing for any business is to understand that it's important that you have complete control to be able to get your message out there, particularly in the online space. And actually, I would take a mailing list every time over a social media following.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Question from Hasib: is there anyone else in the team other than us two? So we're the directors of Web Squadron. If we need to rely upon anyone else to support us, we will reach out. We've got a huge, I mean, the amount of respect I have for the community here that joins our live chats, and so many people on here have become really good friends. You know, we will reach out to them and they reach out to us if there's a good thing or a bad thing going on. And I know there's lots of support that we could reach on to here if we wanted to. Do we hire out any of our actual website builds to anyone else? Not yet, no. Mainly because what it comes down to is our portfolio, our style, and how we like to build. If we ever got to a point where we were like inundated with work, and I'm going to be honest, we're not inundated with work. We have steady work coming in, you know, and we have other projects and things on as well. But we haven't had to like go out and kind of like hand the work over to anyone else. But if we ever get to that stage, I can honestly tell you, I would first be looking to people within this group to help us out, rather than me just jumping onto, say, another platform and saying, hey, who wants to build a website for us? So we don't do it yet, but if we ever did in the future, I'd be asking this group first who wants to join us.
But and why do you think that is? I mean, that's because we've established a relationship and trust over time.
Yeah.
The people that we're seeing in here are keen to learn. They think in the same way that we do, hence why they're continuing to follow. And what we don't pretend to be kind of the experts in everything. You know, we know what we know. We're happy to share that knowledge and experience with anyone who's prepared to listen, really. But it's always been something that's been important to us. Is more about kind of integrity than just picking up something for cheap. And this is the reason. You know, it's the same message we send to our clients. We know we're not cheap. If somebody wants something purely driven on cost, then we have no interest nowadays in working with them. Yes, we did in the beginning, and we had to build our portfolio and to get started. But we're now very clear with people that we believe we offer value for the services that we provide. We're not the cheapest in the market. If someone wants something cheap, by all means, go and take a cheap offer. But what we will offer you is all of these things, an established reputation, and a guarantee that you will go away happy with your website. And that's the same reason that if you see our ratings on platforms like Bark, everything is 5-star, because everybody, you know, we ensure that everybody leaves us happy.
Absolutely. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through quite a few questions because we have got quite a few coming. So I'm going to go through about 5 or 6 quickly. So just we play catch up. Tahoe Kangas, he uses Elemental Free and Astra Pro. Should I leave Astra and deal with Elemental? There's no reason why you need to leave Astra. However, do you need Astra Pro? I would strongly say no. If you're going to get Elemental Pro, just use Hello or Astra Free, okay? Because the amount of stuff you get with Elemental Pro, and it is getting better now with the loot builder, you don't need Astra Pro. When you work out the cost, Astra Pro is like, what, $49 something a year? You might as well get Elemental Pro. You're limiting yourself to what you want to do. Just another question down here. Where is it? Here we go. Red Hot. Right, yes. So this is with regards to the clients and all of that. Does this mean we need to prepare skills at a certain level so that we can further expand the client market later? I don't think you do. I think you're going to know what kind of websites you want to be working on. And if you're trying to attract a bigger client market, that's absolutely fine. So if you want to attract a WooCommerce market, but you don't understand that, go and learn it, go watch videos, play around with it, build a fake website and test it. So if you want to expand your client market, if it interests you, go for it. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm not a Mark will know what I'm talking about. I'm not a massive fan of hotel booking or cabin booking websites anymore. So I won't be stimulated to be doing any more of those if they come up. But if we wanted to do more on that, we would go away and play around and go, well, what is a better solution we could use to help us out? Just going to check if there's any other. I think there was
Can
another.
I just
Yeah,
pick
go
up
on.
on
You go
that
on
as
that.
well?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we talk in some of our modules about niching, and I'm sure a lot of you will have heard about niching down your business. And the reason that we niche down the business is not to restrict our clientele. It's purely around marketing. It's purely around getting the right message across to the right people. Ultimately, if you talk to everybody, you're talking to nobody. It just gets lost in the noise online. So by niching down and refining your market, you're really trying to target specific people. That doesn't mean you can't do other work,
Hmm.
but the danger is that if you offer too broad a range of service, and this is where we started off, we started off offering a very broad range of services. People just weren't seeing us. It was just getting lost in people's news feeds. You need to, the reason that you niche is to make sure that you actually, if someone's scrolling through their social media feed, what's going to make them stop and take notice? It's going to be something that really grabs them, because otherwise we just scroll on past.
Yeah.
And only by actually targeting and understanding who you're actually you want to work with will you ever be able to really reach and grow your clientele in the online space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just saying hi to Mia there, who's Mia's always seems to mention she's got a chauffeur, and I'm not sure, right? Has she got a partner or someone who's driving her around, or has she actually got a chauffeur? I'd look. We need to see video evidence of this, okay, Mia? We really do. There was a question. I've just gone and lost it now. Here we go. It was from Batags. How many revisions do you allow when building a website? If I had my way, none. But I won't talk about the past where sometimes we allowed some people to have more than they should. But if I give you an example, so there's a client, an existing client, who's going to have their website completely rebuilt. Hopefully they'll pay their deposit this week, which is what they've indicated. So what will happen is we build their homepage, and then I will allow them to review it, and then I will revise it. So that's revision 1. There may be a minor revision after that because I might have misinterpreted what they wanted me to do, maybe. So in effect, it's like 1 and a bit, maybe, for the homepage. Once the homepage is signed off, every other page, unless you've been told specifically it's a very different style, is an iteration of the homepage. You move bits around, you might change a few sections, but it's kind of a similar style. Then I'll build out the other pages, and then I will ask them to now review the entire website. So now there might be another revision or a set of revisions. That's now revision number 2 in effect. I will do them, and then I will ask them to double check again, and then hopefully we'll have minor revisions. So in a nutshell, homepage revision, minor revision after that, the whole website, there might be some revisions, and then there might be a few minor tweaks right at the end. But what we try to make clear is once that homepage is signed off, if we get to the end of the website or halfway and they go, oh, you know what, we want to go with a completely different style, that doesn't go down well with us, because we're going, no, the homepage is signed off, and now that starts to influence the rest of the website. In a nutshell, I would probably say 2 to 3. We try to keep it as lean as possible. Like this client, I've written down for them. I've said the day you pay, that deposit is day 0. By day 2, you will be asked to now review the homepage. By day 4, by day 6, whatever. We should all be done by day 6. And by me making that clear to them before they pay the deposit, I'm trying to make them understand that here's your opportunities for revision. So the clearer you are with what you want, and George will like to hear this, Atarim is a brilliant, brilliant product, a free product that you can use to get the client to let you know what they like or don't like about the website. Believe me, that's what I'll be using for this client for sure, just because I'm a bit suspect of what some of the stuff they've said. But I've given you a very long answer, that keep it as small as possible. Otherwise, you'll never end the website, as we know.
We've learned that lesson. Yeah, we
Yeah.
had one that ran on for nearly a year, because it was the client was it was one of our first clients, first big client, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the contract wasn't tight enough with them, and we've learned a lot from that, and we've refined a lot of our processes over the last couple of years. Our contracts, our specs, our quotes, really from the lessons that we've learned, usually from people being pain in the arse.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a really good comment here. So yeah, we've definitely refined. We're tighter on our contracts. We are more pick and choose. Because when you start off, every job that comes in, you want to get it, you want to win it, you want to do it. But like not oh god, I don't know, 6 7 months ago, there was a client, an architect, and he was going to pay a very good sum of money for a website. But I got this really bad vibe off him, and I was talking to him on video calls. Mark hadn't even met him, but I said to Mark, I'm not gonna pursue this. And Mark respects what I want to do, just like I respect what Mark wants to do as well. And if we have a feeling of a little bit of a bad vibe or anything, we just don't go with it. We know what it's like to work with a stressful client.
Yeah, I mean, our very first client that
Oh
we
God,
worked
do we have to
with,
talk about that one?
yeah, was I mean, we worked with them for probably 3 months,
Yeah,
and we took nothing, and we ended up saying we're not going to work with them anymore. And we learned that, and our first big client, we learned a lot of lessons from them on how to do better business and how to tighten up our processes, contracts, specs, etc. So yeah, you learn the lessons along the way and you tighten it up, and that's really what we're trying to share out in the mastery modules, is a lot of the resources that we've built and we've learned from along the way, to save those of you who are relatively new to it or are struggling with it all of that pain and hassle.
yeah. So Morris's question there that I've put on screen, it's mainly about advice on quoting work. So the way I look at it is, how long is it going to take to do? So if the website is going to take a day or two because it is really simple, you got all the resources, you know what you're doing, it's a day into build, sign off, and job done. I will price it up for 2 days' work. If I think it's going to take longer because the client wants to work with me, they're going to pay, but we don't have the content or the images, or there's a bit of uncertainty about how should the contact us page looks, price it up accordingly to that. And also about the effort. I've mentioned this in the video that we put out yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, about pricing for your websites. A WooCommerce website. Is it just a WooCommerce website with a single product template, job done, and all that? Or is it going to be a WooCommerce website with coupons, cart abandonment, loads of other stuff? There's a fulfillment center. You got to get the API for all of that. There's 1,000 products and you've got to help them out with that. What is the amount of effort involved? And you could almost say that if you were to go and get someone right now, hire 3 people to come and do your garden, you want them to landscape your garden. One of them might, what are you asking them? To mow the lawn? To dig it up and put a swimming pool in there? To build an entire annex extension for you at the back of the garden, like a garden office? What are you asking them? And that's going to influence the cost they give you. Of course, every business is different. But I would say, Morris, is that, you've always got 28 years. Hopefully by now, you're going to know that if I build a basic website that's going to take a day. Sorry, let me just re-say that. You could have 2 people who both want the exact same website. This is going to take a day, but this could take 5 days for the exact same website. Why is this going to take 5 days? Because this client doesn't answer his emails, doesn't tell you what they want. Whereas this one is very informed, knows what they want, knows their social media, knows, how they want it to look in a way. So you have to kind of assess it on what's required and the client. I can't stress this enough. The client and how engaged they are with you can determine how quick you're going to get the job done. Did you want to jump in there, Mark?
Yeah, I would just add to that ultimately the price that you charge is driven ultimately by demand. If you've got massive demand for your services, you're busy, you're booked up, you've got a waiting list, you've got work coming in, then you can push your prices up, because if one of those people goes, you've got other people coming in. If you imagine it like, I'm just trying to think of the best analogy. Probably I'm not an analogy person like Imran, but if you think about a PT, a personal trainer, um, they have 40 hours a week to fill. When they start out, they have to charge less because they're trying to fill those spaces. But once they're full up to their kind of 40 hours, then they can push their rates up. And if one or two drop off, then they'll bring one or two more in. But ultimately, they're making more money. You don't have to maximize that time necessarily to make more money. It's the balance between the time that you sell and the price that you sell it at. So it doesn't really matter how knowledgeable you are. It's about how much of an expert you are, and how much demand there is for your services. They're the two fundamental drivers of what your hourly rate is, and therefore how much income you generate.
Yeah. I haven't said it yet, but there is a message at the top there. Please don't forget to hit like if you haven't hit like already. And I know mainly because me and Mark are chatting, and also we're doing the messages, I haven't said hi to everyone that's popping along. So really sorry about that. But hey to everyone that's here, and please don't forget to hit like. Dee's question about turnaround for a basic website, 8 pages. If we know what we're doing and everything is kind of sounded out with the spec and the look of it, for instance, the images and the content, you could easily get that done within 3 days. Day 1 would be setting up an homepage. Day 2 would be sign off revisions. Then you just crack on. And if it is a very simple website, it's not a shop, it's not an appointment booking, it's just a static website, like a brochure website, images, gallery, contact. You could easily get that done within 3 days. I mean, just to give you an example, I think it was in June. We did in the space of a week, in 1 week, we did 3 directory websites in the space of a week, which is a little bit unheard of, but that's because the clients, they gave me what I asked them to give me. So it was like in 2 days we did one, another one took 2 days, and another one took 3 days. So in the space of a week, we got 3 sites done. So a lot of it comes back to the homework and how engaged your clients are. And if they're on board with it and they give you what you want, you can do it. And I'm just going to quickly mention Matt asked a question about how many websites do we typically do a month. It is super varied, mate. I remember there was a period where we had like one after another for a while. There will be December is always a quiet period for obvious reasons, and then it picks up. I mean, January it picks up, and you're like, whoa, it's a bit like people buying houses. January is always a busy period for the estate agents because now everybody wants to move, or they're thinking about whatever they're going to do in spring. But we don't. I don't want to put a number down on it. But we have quiet periods, we have good periods. What I will say though is if you only ever did say 1 website or 2 websites a month, that's not a problem if you price it correctly. So if you're pricing your websites at say $200 or $300, is that going to be okay for you for the month? However, if you're charging higher, like the video we released yesterday, where you take into account the potential profit for the client if the website works well for them, you can price your websites up in a lot better way. But a lot of our business isn't just about the website build. I'm not going to lie, we have the mastery modules and we make an income off that, and that helps to support the business as well. People book us for consultations as well. I mean, the live chats in a way is almost like a free consultation we're just putting out there. For free, but we get hired for consultations as well. So the income isn't just the websites at the moment. And for anyone out there that thinks we're rolling in money from YouTube, let me tell you now, okay, don't fall into that trap where people go, hey, I'm making $10,000. That's rubbish, all right? Unless you are selling beauty products, right? Or yourself or whatever, okay, you're not going to be rolling in money. Let me tell you now, it's a very long game at the moment. But we don't do the YouTube to make money. We do it to share what we do. And Mark and me, we're very much, we like to present. So, like, we have different styles when we're presenting to an audience, but we're not afraid of putting out ideas and sharing good and bad practice.
And I think as an indicator, so in our first year, I think we did 82 sites. We would that sounds high. We would never want to do that again. We quite happily
Yeah.
do 30 or 40 sites a year, and people pay us more to do the same. So we sell our time at a better hourly rate, and that's what we've kind of aspired to, and that's really how we've been able to do things like this. We have the time, we cover our costs through the sites that we do, and then we reinvest it. We want to share that with the community, and build out other solutions as well.
Yeah. Just to let everyone know, is I can't share any more comments. For some reason, Evie Mux isn't letting me share them on the screen now, so I'm just going to be reading them off on the site, on the Web Squad, the YouTube video. Brian asked a question about that many people in the web space forget to add in profit on their bids. So something I've mentioned before, and I'm going to say it again, is when we're pricing up a website, normally we like to get 50% upfront before we start. And the way I like to approach it is that if after that 50% is paid and we've done what we said we would do, okay, up until that 50% point, and then things go south with the client or whatever, we've still made a profit on our time and what we've put in. So if things don't work, that 50% is still a nice bit of income, okay? When the final 50% comes in, that is even better. That's now even more gravy coming your way. So if you price up a project and you're not going to make a profit for your time or your value until the full 100% is paid, then you're doing it wrong, because it's not uncommon for a lot of projects to break, go south, things just, fall apart, whatever. So when you're pricing up your projects, try and ensure that within that 50%, you are getting what you want and profit, so that you can sit there smiling and feel good. Because then when things get to the end and you get the final 100%, I'm not saying you're laughing, but you're probably going to be smiling a bit there.
Yeah, and I would agree. I mean, we broadly know now what doing certain pieces of work will cost. So we can't. I guess we kind of have a menu, if you like. We know what the price for a standard website is. We know what the price for SEO is. We know what a price for adding rank math. All of those things we have kind of prices for based on where we are at the moment. So we can bring them together, but that's based on experience, and we know roughly how long they're going to take. But we are in a place now where we won't start a project without a 50% deposit, and we won't start a project without a lot of the key information that we need to move it forward. So images, the general content, any videos, etc. We won't start without that. Whereas I think when you're new to this, and clients are less prepared, you kind of have to give them a bit more flexibility, or you feel like you do anyway. And again, I think that's something that we've learned over time, that if we haven't got kind of at least 80% of what we need, then there's no point of starting, and we'll just bump it back until we get that information for them. And we make it clear when we start that that's our expectation, and that we won't start until that lands with us.
Yeah. Francisco's asked a question, and like I said, I can't share it because Evie Mux isn't allowing me to share, but he says, what is a good funnel or a channel that we can share for Black Friday? Now, what I'm going to say is I'm not going to share any of them, except, of course, the Web Squadron one, where we have our 40% deal on the mastery modules. But what I'm going to say is, forget what everyone else is doing and focus on what you are going to give. What are you going to give back to someone if they hire you as a web designer? What are you going to do for them? And something I am going to share, hopefully in the next few days, is something about your bio. So at the moment, when I did some videos, I said in your bio, say, I am going to help small businesses and consultants with a high converting website from £920 SEO, page speed performance, WordPress, you put pipes in. I'm now changing my approach after doing A, a little bit of research, and B, thinking about it differently. What you now want to be thinking about, and I'm just going to get this onto my, because I just need to remind myself of the approach. What you now need to be thinking about is when you are putting together your funnel pages, think of the top bit like your bio. And when I say bio, I don't mean, hey, I'm Francisco and I live here and I do this X, Y, Z. What you really want to be thinking about is, why should anyone be interested in you? What are you going to do for them? So you don't just say you're a web designer, but what are you going to do for them as a web designer? Are you going to help them generate leads or something like that? But then you also got to link it into how you're going to help their business. So I'm a web designer that's going to help you generate leads. So what? But how is that going to help your business? So what you then might say, it's going to help you grow your business, right? So you're going to generate leads to help them grow their business, to empower them, to help them make a profit. And then you want to then go into how do they find out more? So this is where you would then say, find out about our marketing strategies, find out about our solutions for e-commerce, find out about our efficient appointment booking system. And then you go into the detail. Because what the mistake some people make is I'll try to be kind about this. For years and years and years now, a lot of people, when you have a funnel page, the first half of the page is all about, oh, I woke up one morning, I felt really shit, oh, nobody liked me, everyone was throwing shit on me, oh, I couldn't even see my own shit and all that. And then they get onto the solution. And I think now people are becoming more impatient, and I've started noticing there's a shift now. So before you get onto how bad your life was, you want to really get out there. This is what I do. This is how it's going to help you or your business. And this is what you now need to do. And you will repeat that call to action throughout the page, but you want to make sure you get it up there right at the start. Because if someone has found you via a social media post, or they already knew that, oh, Imran and Mark do mastery modules, I don't want to delay the conversion for them to click and go and buy it, for instance, or hire us to get a website built. So I would say, get across, and by the way, Mark, you can jump in as well. Get across what you're going to do for them, get your call to action in. And then if you want to give them the background about how life was not good, feast and famine, how you turned it around or whatever, you can go into all of that, but keep putting in your call to actions.
I think the only thing I'd add is ultimately people purchase things to solve a problem.
Yeah.
Whether it's they buy socks because they've got cold feet or they've got holes in their existing socks. They buy things to solve a problem ultimately. So that's where you need to focus, is what problem are you solving for what people? And that's also then forms the underlying basis of all of your marketing and the way that you're going to try and grow your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, I just posted Richard's question, even though it's an old one. There was no need for me to hit that one up there. So Phil has said, I would say that a 900. Yeah. So just to clarify, we do state £920. The only reason we do that is our price for literally like a, you can almost, how to explain it? You know how we have a social media page now? Sorry, not social media. We have a socials page that I did a video on how you could share it on your social media. When people click on it, it gives them like say a button for hiring you for a consultation, paying you for a donation. Maybe it's for some other little things. It's just a simple page. That starts to fall into that bracket, the 920. It could also be like a one-page CV. Hey, this is who I am. This is how you contact me with a contact form. So a very, very simple one-page website now starts at the 920. We're not over 1,000, but we're not too far off from that. So we're kind of setting our line in the sand, and we're saying that's our basic price. It is higher, even though 920 is considered quite low. It is higher than what a lot of other people would charge. But then that's down to what we bring to the table, and your reputation kicks in. You can't, look, it's like footballers, okay? You'll have 11 people in the team. The ones that perform better or are more skilled or have a bigger reputation or more reach are obviously going to get paid more.
Right, and it goes back to demand
Yeah,
again. Those
yeah,
people are more in demand, and therefore they can, that they can look to command more money from that. I mean, I think our average site is probably about
yeah,
2,500. We use a ladder to upsell from the 920 starting point. But then, to be fair, we've also, as we say, we like to give back. We've done stuff with community projects. We've done stuff with charities as well, helping them out. So, it's not about becoming a millionaire. It's more about making sure we can live and people pay us a fair price for the work that we do.
yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that's like really dear to me and really important is that, and Mark mentioned it, is that we put integrity and honesty and transparency at the core of everything we do. And we want to be here for the long run. We don't want to be here for like a day or two. And I would like to think that I'm still doing live chats like these in the next 20, 25 years. God knows what state I'll be in then. But I would like to think we're still doing them for a long time. And we don't even know where I'm going with this now. But we but based on our integrity and how we like to do things, and trust that we're building up, we want you to know that we're not selling you a dud. We're not advising you of do this X, Y, and Z. We're sharing with you the best way that you can manage or handle your agency or your business. But we're forever learning as well. I'm never going to say that we know everything. And there's always tips and advice we get off other people, off the live chats, people that join in that we look at and go, yeah, we didn't think about that. But we've been there. We've been there when we started off, made mistakes, worked with the wrong clients, sometimes sort of think, oh, why the heck are we doing this, kind of thing, why are we still working with this person? But now we're very focused on how we like to approach things, but we are very mindful as well. Don't forget to hit the like button, everyone.
And we spent a fair amount of money when we started on business coaches trying to find the right one. I think we went through 3 before we landed on the one that we work with now. And I think, think about how much time you spend, Imran, researching and, building relationships with other people. And all of that comes together in the information that we share. It doesn't necessarily benefit us. It's more about things that we find interesting, things that we think our audience will benefit from.
Yeah, and Richard's made a comment there that I found quite funny, how someone wanted a one-page website, but they had like 14 sections. And, that's very true as well. So the client I mentioned, they want changes to their website. They said, well, what's the cost? And I made clear to them, the cost will be per page. Here's the cost. However, I won't give you a final cost until I know what your layout is. When I finally saw what homepage they were, I was like, yeah, you're fine within that. So always please bear that in mind. I see a lot of people out there, they go, yeah, we'll build a 5-page website for $500. And I'm like, what if the one-page website now has loads of stuff on it? And it's going to take you about 3 weeks to build the homepage, let alone every other page. You just said you would build it for 500. And they go, yeah, but we'll adjust it. I go, no, you kind of probably agreed and signed off, stuff with the client. So now you're stuck in a way. So think about your pricing, think about your start point. And the video we put out yesterday, of course I would say this, but I really recommend you watch it because I put a lot of emphasis on the word from. Okay, what is your baseline? Where do you start? And how do you then scale upwards? Okay, stop racing to the bottom. Stop competing. And this is going to sound really, really weird. If there's like a client and he's got you and maybe 2 other businesses in mind, and he lets you know, look, it's you and 2 other people, but your price is double what their price is. Don't get into that frame of mind where you go, right, we'll halve our price as well. Make clear to them that this is our price and here's what you get. If you don't want the SEO, fine, the price will come down, but then you're not going to get the SEO. If you don't want the perfect mobile responsive performance, bashing, page speed, all that page, fine, take it out, because that's less work for us. But then you can't whinge about it. Don't use the word whinge, use nicer words. But if you're very transparent in your breakdown, let them pick and choose. And if they want to pay half the price, as long as you still get paid for what you're doing, who cares? You know, and the client we're working on now, they don't want to pay so much, so they're not going to do their SEO or their page speed performance. And I'm like, fine, that's okay. But when you come back to me next week or next month, the price will go up by 50%. Because it was easier for me to do it at the time I was building it. You want me to do it later? Sorry, there's going to be an increased charge. And they understand that. And I know they will come back because they're going to realize that not submitting our website to Google and our indexing was not a good move. They're based in London. They're like a private surgery, doctor surgery, competing against London. Like what, you know? But hey, I've made it clear. And when they come back, we'll work with them then. Please don't forget to hit like if you've not hit like already. Just checking any questions. I mean, we have gone off. We were only going to do this for an hour, and I am going to give everyone that dreaded signal, the 2-minute warning. I don't know which way to put my fingers, but it's a 2-minute warning coming up, right? Mainly because I need to get on with some stuff, and Mark as well. He's got to go probably check on his daughter as well. Quick question from Tom. What's our fave WordPress page builder? I have to be honest, okay? I still like using Elementor. Mainly because I know that if my clients don't want us for a maintenance plan, we can very quickly train them up and away they go. I also like using Bricks Builder, but I do feel like Bricks Builder is the page builder I will use if I know we are now doing a maintenance plan with the client, because if you give them the Bricks Builder website, they'll break it. They will proper break it and crack it, because you've got to think about the class system. So my favorites are Elementor and Bricks. Okay, so I just want to make that clear. I do like Elementor, Francisco. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And by the way, I just need to give a bit of a shout out to Elementor. They are doing a competition. Go to their website to find out where the winner. I think the winners get like iPads, a trip to Thailand, loads of other stuff as well. And all you got to do is like submit designs or a website for different categories. Please go and look at that. I have to say, it's a pretty, good competition they've got running there at the moment. So please do go and look at that. Mark, is there anything you wanted to talk about before we end it? In case any burning questions come in, but is there anything you wanted to talk about or end off with?
Not specifically. I mean, so as I said, I do a lot of the back of house kind of business operational process type stuff. If there is anyone who wants any more information on that, you can reach out to me. You can contact us through the website, and I do kind of host and run through a lot of the marketing type stuff on the mastery modules, so you can see me there if you want to. And now we've got this connection thing sorted out, I will try and join a bit more frequently. Obviously I have to balance that around the day job as well, but it's been great to be on today, and thanks for all the birthday wishes at the beginning.
Yeah, so just going to end off by saying thanks, Mark, for coming along, and hopefully we'll see him again. And like you said, if you do join any of the mastery modules, don't be surprised. It's not me always doing the talking. A lot of them are Mark. And just want to mention, Francisco, yes, you do need to use Elemental for the Elemental competition. I don't think they're going to give you a prize to Thailand if you go and use, I don't know, the GoDaddy page builder for an Elemental competition. That definitely ain't happening. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Mark, you don't need to drop off just yet, but I'm going to end the conversation. Please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share, and follow. And of course, I shall see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Don't forget to hit like.